There are mornings when even the simple act of standing by the window feels heavier than it once did. You look outside, the street still quiet, the sky still pale, and you tell yourself that today you will walk a little more, just as you've been told to do for years. Walking has become the companion that never questions you, the routine that keeps life moving when so many other things have slowed down. But somewhere inside, perhaps in the back of your knees or in the stiffness of your hips, there is a whisper, a sense that the steps you take each day, faithful as they are, may not be giving your body the support it truly needs. And that feeling carries a quiet fear, one that many never speak aloud. The fear of losing balance, of falling, of depending on others more than you wish to. If you are over 60, you may know this fear intimately, even if you hide it behind a polite smile or a determined walk around the block. You may remember a time when your legs felt like solid ground, when standing up from a chair required no thought, when climbing stairs felt natural, not like a negotiation with your joints. Aging brings a kind of honesty we did not ask for, revealing parts of the body we once ignored. It can feel unfair to realize that despite your daily efforts, something inside still feels fragile. And yet, this fragility does not mean failure. It means your body is asking for a different kind of care, one that honors the years you have lived and the ground you still wish to walk with confidence. Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, one of Japan's most respected physicians, used to say that the aging body is like an old but cherished staircase. From the outside it may seem sturdy, unmovable, unchanged by time, but its true safety depends on the internal beams we rarely notice. Those hidden supports need attention, reinforcement, and respect. Walking helps keep the circulation alive, the breath steady, the mind clear, but it leaves untouched many of the deeper structures that hold you upright when the world becomes uneven. The muscles that stabilize the hips, protect the spine, guide the ankles, and keep your body steady. When a sudden turn or small misstep threatens to throw you off balance, rarely engage during a simple walk. And this is why so many older adults who walk daily still feel unsteady, still experience joint pain, still sense that something is missing. Dr. Peter Attia, a physician who studies longevity and functional aging, calls this your functional reserve. With each passing decade, especially after 60, this reserve shrinks faster in the lower body than anywhere else. You lose lower body muscle fibers 3 times faster than those in your arms or upper torso. That means the parts of your body responsible for catching you if you stumble, for supporting you as you climb a staircase, for lifting you from a chair, or simply for keeping you upright in the shower, weaken long before you notice it. And walking, though valuable for the heart and mind, barely touches these essential muscles. For many years, the wellness industry has sold walking as a universal cure-all, not because it is the most effective path to mobility after 60, but because it is simple to promote. A step counter, a daily reminder, a promise of improvement. But those who have lived long enough know that health is more than repetition. It is depth. It is the strength that lies beneath what others see. Real independence, the kind that allows you to rise from bed without fear or to walk across your living room without hesitation, requires activation of the deeper muscles that walking quietly overlooks. This is why the coming chapters of this video matter. Not because you have been doing something wrong, but because there is more available to you than you have been told. 5 movements, simple and gentle, can reach the stabilizing muscles that walking never touches. They can protect your balance, strengthen your legs, and reduce the quiet anxieties that come with aging. They can help you rebuild the inner supports of your own cherished staircase so you can keep living with the dignity and independence you deserve. Relying only on walking can create a comforting rhythm, but also a false sense of security. Your body is wiser than that, and it has been speaking to you in the language of stiffness, fatigue, or hesitation. Today you will begin to understand what it has been trying to say. There is still time, there is still strength, and there is a way forward that honors the life you have lived and the life you still wish to live. Walking is loyal to endurance. It keeps the heart moving, the lungs open, and the mind clear, but it barely reaches the deeper layers of strength that protect you when life becomes unpredictable. The stabilizer muscles, the quiet guardians of your hips, thighs, and ankles, stay mostly asleep during regular walking. They are the gluteus medius on the side of the hip that keeps your pelvis from swaying, the deep calf muscles that hold your ankle steady on uneven ground, the inner thigh fibers that guide your legs so they don't collapse inward with each step. When these muscles grow weak, the joints carry the burden. Knees absorb more impact. Ankles wobble during simple turns. The lower back tightens to compensate. Many people think these sensations are just old age, but often they are the body signaling that an essential support system has gone quiet. This becomes even clearer when we look at places where people live long and move well far into their 80s and 90s. In these regions, walking is indeed part of daily life, but it is never the whole story. Elders sit and rise from the floor, a movement that naturally strengthens hips and thighs. They garden, leaning forward, squatting down, shifting side to side, motions that activate deep stabilizers. They climb gentle hills or uneven paths, forcing the ankles, calves, and hips to respond with intelligence. Their strength comes not only from distance but from depth, from the variety of movements their lifestyle naturally provides. And so they continue walking not because it is their only exercise, but because the hidden structures of the body have been cared for all along. There is a simple moment that reveals all of this, shifting your weight slowly from one leg to the other. Most people feel the body hesitate. The ankle trembles a bit, as if unsure. The hip dips slightly. The thigh tightens, trying to help. This gentle sway, so subtle and so honest, shows where stability has softened over time. It is not a test, nor a judgment. It is simply a way of seeing the truth beneath the surface, that the legs may carry you forward, but they may no longer steady you sideways. And this is why walking, as wonderful as it is, cannot be the full story after 60. It smooths the surface of your movements, much like polishing the boards of a wooden floor. The shine may look beautiful, and it may feel familiar under your feet, but if the beams underneath have weakened, the floor remains fragile. The body is the same. You can walk for miles and still feel vulnerable when standing on one leg, reaching for a shelf, stepping into the bathtub, or rising from bed in the morning. These moments do not depend on endurance. They depend on stability, something walking rarely touches. If this message about hidden strength is resonating with you, consider subscribing. Each week we explore small, steady habits that help protect your balance, mobility, and independence after 60. Walking moves the body forward, but it rarely challenges the small, intricate muscles that keep the ankles aligned and stable. These deeper fibers are the ones that react when the foot hits a crack in the pavement or when the balance shifts unexpectedly in the kitchen. When they weaken, the risk of falling rises not suddenly but gradually, like a slow shadow stretching through the years. Falls often begin long before the fall itself, in the quiet erosion of ankle stability that no one ever taught us to notice. Many older adults describe feeling as if their feet are less trustworthy, as if their steps land with less precision. This does not mean the body is failing. It simply means the feet are asking for a kind of attention they have gone without for too long. Researchers in geriatric biomechanics have long observed something fascinating. Controlled impacts through the heel can awaken the bones and muscles of the lower leg in ways that walking cannot. When the heel lifts and returns to the ground with a gentle, natural drop, the tibia, the long bone of the shin, receives a subtle vibration. Not a harsh shock, but a reminder, a message. Bones depend on these small messages to stay dense and alive. Muscles too respond with renewed engagement, especially the deep calf fibers that prevent the ankle from rolling outward or collapsing inward. These movements are simple, almost unremarkable from the outside, yet inside the leg, they ignite a conversation between bone, muscle, and balance. Cultures that live close to the earth understand this instinctively. In mountainous regions, elders spend their days navigating slopes, stepping on uneven stones, placing their weight through the heel before rising onto the forefoot. This natural rhythm strengthens their ankles without them even being aware of it. The terrain itself teaches the body to stay awake. It is not exercise to them, it is simply life unfolding on different levels of ground. And so their ankles remain responsive well into their 80s and 90s, not because of formal training, but because every step sends a gentle signal to stay strong. The movement known as a heel drop captures this same wisdom in a simple gesture. Standing near something steady, the heels rise slowly, almost as if greeting the sky. Then, just as slowly, they return to the ground, allowing the bones to feel a faint, measured tap. 10 or 20 repetitions form a rhythm that the body understands. It is not forceful or demanding. It is a quiet conversation with the skeleton, a reminder that strength does not disappear with age, it only needs to be called back. For someone living with stiffness, fear of falling, or the lingering sadness of a life that has changed too quickly, this small gesture becomes more than a movement. It becomes a form of reassurance. These muscles, the ones that help you lower your body gently, rise with confidence and catch yourself if you tilt too far, rarely receive enough stimulation from everyday walking. Walking favors forward motion, but it does little to challenge the full length of the legs. The deeper fibers of the quadriceps, the broad strength of the glutes, and the supportive muscles along the hips begin to lose their voice. This is why even people who walk faithfully each day sometimes feel as though their legs lack the resilience they once had. Mobility begins to shrink not out of neglect, but out of the subtle ways daily habits have changed over the decades. In parts of the world where people maintain strength well into advanced age, their routines often involve natural movements that modern homes have slowly removed from daily life. Elders in rural regions of Asia sit closer to the ground not by force but by custom. They lean forward to prepare meals, tend to gardens, wash vegetables in low basins, or share tea while seated on mats. These movements require the knees, hips, and ankles to bend more deeply, engaging muscles that support the entire lower body. Without realizing it, they keep the body strong through humble routines that connect them to the ground beneath their feet. Their mobility is not the result of special exercises, but of everyday motions that shape the body in gentle but powerful ways. For someone who has spent a lifetime sitting in chairs or working at counters raised far above the floor, deep bending can feel unfamiliar, even intimidating. The idea of lowering the body may bring back memories of falls, discomfort, or moments when the legs did not respond as expected. Yet there is a way to reconnect with this lost strength that does not force, rush, or challenge the body harshly. Holding on to something steady and lowering the body just a few inches is enough to awaken the muscles that have been quiet. The body remembers these patterns, even if years have passed since they were last used. A partial bend, held gently and followed by a slow return to standing, stimulates the large muscles of the legs in a way walking never does. This movement is not about achieving a deep squat or matching the flexibility of youth. It is about reclaiming the conversation between your legs and the ground. Every slow lowering, every thoughtful pause, every careful rise strengthens the pillars that hold you upright. These legs have carried you through decades of work, family, loss, and growth. They deserve to feel capable again. Supported squats offer this possibility quietly, without spectacle. They reinforce your foundation so that everyday tasks, stepping into the bathtub, lifting groceries, rising from bed, feel safer and more accessible. The image of foundation pillars is fitting here. A building may look beautiful from the outside, but it stands only as strong as the columns beneath it. Your legs are those columns. When they regain strength, everything above them is steadied. The back releases its tension. The hips respond with less stiffness. The knees begin to trust themselves again, and perhaps most importantly, the mind grows calmer knowing the body can carry its weight with more certainty. The brain plays a central role in this hidden story. Balance is not just strength, it is communication. It is the conversation between your inner ear, your eyes, your muscles, and a small but powerful part of the brain called the cerebellum. With age, that conversation softens, unless it is kept alive through movements that require awareness, weight shifts, gentle control, and slow transitions. Walking does not ask much of these systems. Your feet move forward, your arms swing, your eyes look ahead. Everything happens almost automatically. The brain drifts into a familiar rhythm, but the balance centers remain understimulated, like a skilled musician who is no longer asked to play. Tai Chi and similar slow, intentional movements offer something profoundly different. When the body shifts weight from one side to the other, when the arms glide softly through the air, when the feet place themselves with deliberate care, the cerebellum awakens. Proprioceptive nerves, the ones that tell you where your body is in space, begin to fire again, weaving a stronger connection between your mind and your movements. It is a kind of internal awakening that cannot be rushed or forced. It happens through slowness, through attentiveness, through the quiet poetry of movement. Many older adults who begin these practices describe a surprising sense of clarity, as if their body remembers something it has not felt in years. In communities across China and Japan, this slow, graceful approach to movement is woven into daily life. Older adults gather in parks at dawn, stepping softly in unison, letting their bodies express both calm and control. Their movements are small, but the impact is deep. They continue to live independently, not because they push their bodies harder, but because they train them to respond more intelligently. The world around them remains navigable because their nervous system stays awake, alert, and coordinated. For someone who has lived through decades of change, loss, and resilience, these movements carry emotional resonance as well. Standing tall, shifting the weight softly, and gliding the arms forward can feel like reclaiming a part of yourself, a part that may have been overshadowed by fear, stiffness, or self-doubt. A simple three-step flow, shifting weight, stepping forward slowly, sweeping the arms with intention, allows the body to experience stability in motion. It brings balance back to life, not through force, but through presence. Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, who spent more than a century caring for others, believed that longevity is built not on what we can see, but on what lies beneath the surface. The unseen supports, the hidden scaffolding, the structures that hold us upright, even when life becomes heavy. Over the years, many of us have been taught to focus on the visible parts of health, the steps counted, the distance walked, the routines completed. But the deeper supports of the body, the ones that protect us from sudden weakness or unexpected falls, require a different kind of attention, a quieter kind, a more deliberate kind. Walking remains valuable. It keeps the heart open, the lungs awake, the spirit moving. But walking alone cannot nurture the stabilizer muscles that guard you when the world shifts unexpectedly. These deeper muscles, the ones responsible for confidence, steadiness, and recovery, awaken only when engaged with intention. And after 60, these muscles often decide the difference between independence and dependence, between moving freely and moving with fear. This is not a message of alarm. It is a message of clarity, a way to understand why your daily efforts sometimes feel incomplete, even though your dedication has never wavered.